Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts a Ting. Almost had a brain freeze there, you understand? And we are going back to Ireland and the Irish beauty all year, you know what I mean and thing? This one is called Ireland's Wild Atlantic Way with Simon Calder. Now, people tell me that certain things were not shown in the other one that I watched, so I want to see what's different coming in here. And I just watched a snippet of the beginning, and this guy has a lot of energy and stuff. His name is Simon Calder. So let's go ahead and YouTube and simmer and see what this guy is going to show us here. Maybe he might go in more in-depth into things. You understand what I mean? He's got an Irish accent too, so let's check him out, you know.
Top of the world, or at least that's how it feels here at Malin Head, the northernmost point in Ireland.
Okay, I don't know if it's a British accent, I don't know if it's an Irish accent, so don't shoot me about that one there. Let's get going with this here, let's see what the vibe
And
is.
just the place to begin an adventure on the Wild Atlantic Way. For visitors to Ireland, the Wild Atlantic Way is a brilliant concept. Over 1,600 miles of scenic roads and trails that wrap around the nation's west coast. The way binds together breathtaking locations along the shore where the Atlantic Ocean collides with Europe.
Yeah, we're going to see some different stuff.
Attractions and activities to enliven the experience. The Wild Atlantic Way is one of the most enticing journeys I know. Join me while I hike, cycle, kayak and even try to surf my way along the Irish coastline. Malin Head, where the first part of my adventure begins, is just 1 hour's drive from City of Derry Airport. Thanks to the Common Travel Area, British visitors don't need a passport or visa to travel to the island of Ireland, but do check with your travel provider for any ID requirements. The headland overlooking the North Atlantic Ocean is not just the top of the island of Ireland and of County Donegal, it also presides over Inishowen. That name translates as Owen's Island. In fact, Inishowen is a spectacular peninsula with some unique landscapes, yet well connected to the rest of Ireland. The sheer breadth of experiences in the far north becomes apparent when you seize the chance to go walking with some friendly companions. Normally to be found chewing grass 4,000 metres high in the South American Andes.
You see, I was wondering why do these animals look so familiar? You know, and in my mind I was going, are they indigenous to Ireland? What is this? And then there is the Andes, man. Yeah. I've seen those before. Thought that was weird.
Not me, the alpaca. Welcome to Wild Alpaca Way and my friends Fred and Ted, Badger, Ollie and Benji. The furry friends are cared for, along with dozens more, by John McGonigal, the founder of Wild Alpaca Way.
And at the minute we have 32 boys and 9 girls. So we head off and all the hot spots for the photographs, all the classy places, the alpacas is trained so to stand, and the children or the couples or the groups stands in and cuddles up to the alpacas and gets all different photographs.
Wherever you are in Inishowen, the sea and your next adventure is never far away. Fort Dunry is perched on an outcrop overlooking Lough Swilly, and over the years it provided protection at times of war for the Royal Navy. Besides offering history, it's also the venue for Inish adventures, promising aquatic adventures along a coast carved by time. I've spent plenty of time looking at the sea. It's beautiful, but there is nothing to beat actually getting out on the water with my excellent kayaking guide, John Harkin.
Hey, yeah, I'd do that.
Swilly is actually a deep water fjord carved by a glacier. It offers protection from the ocean, making it a great place to kayak beside and sometimes within the shoreline. Time to share some stories. In Ireland, you know that you're never far from a pub, and this is a very special one. It's the northernmost pub in Ireland, Farron's Bar. And I've been told that, like any Irish pub, there's no strangers here, just friends you haven't yet met.
Everybody gets a very good welcome, and the people here are so good. They're so good, and it's a lovely big community, and everybody gets together and we're behind one another, and it's beautiful. It is.
The landlord is Hugh Farron.
My great-grandfather was here in 1825, and like anything else, I've just taken over from one generation to the next, and I'm the sixth one that's taken over now. I've always said it's a talking bar, and everybody talks, everybody mingles, and everybody eventually gets to know. If you're here long enough, you'll eventually walk.
See, that's what I miss about bars. Like, bars around here, you go in there, music is blasting or sports is blasting in the background, and nobody really communicating unless you yell and scream over everything, you know what I mean? So a bar like this, and we have bars like this on the island, where you just go in there and there's no music and everybody's just talking and laughing, and you go from group to group and talk to them and learn stuff, or you just enjoy vibes, enjoy people's company instead of having loud music blasting and stuff. Of course there's nights where there's music playing, but there's nights that, most nights you're just chilling, and especially if you're close to the ocean, which I'm betting this is pretty close to the ocean. Oh, come on, no, that's the life. That is the life.
Walk around the bar and you'll talk to everybody, because everybody's talking to everybody. Do you understand? It's a talking bar.
What a way to start a day with one of the finest views in Donegal. I'm 800 feet high on Greenan Mountain and about to explore the remarkable Greenan of Alia, an ancient hill fort. Archaeological evidence reveals human activity stretching back 3,700 years, making this one of the most significant locations as a witness to Ireland's history. In the 5th century of the Christian era, St Patrick is believed to have visited the site. During the Victorian age, some reconstruction took place, which explains why the fort appears in good shape. You can touch history here, as tour guide Henry Doohan says.
It's very humbling to think that we've been here standing on a place that the Neolithic man would have been. So there's structure here from possibly the Iron Age, but the structure we see now would have been probably built in maybe the 6th or 7th century. As they always used to say, Donegal has it all. It's a very unique place. Some people call it the forgotten county or the undiscovered county. There's a quietness to it, and there's a more simplistic view of life up here as well. So it's a lovely place to be. You can come up here and some people say, see the real Ireland.
That's one of the things I do believe that draws me to Ireland. You could walk in history. It's preserved so well. You could just walk in there, And a place like this, I just go sit there and close my eyes and try to imagine just being surrounded by Neolithic man. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. And with my wild imagination, hey, I'd be right there in a heartbeat, boy. Man.
Very good way to see the real Ireland is to take to the road, in this case the exciting hill-climbing, coast-hugging route along the west side of beautiful Lough Swilly, delivering one heavenly vista after another.
It's very rocky.
Driving north, and the road reaches an inspiring conclusion at Fanad Head, where this handsome lighthouse was born from a maritime tragedy involving a Royal Navy ship. The coastline of the far north of Ireland is majestic, and yet these waters are also treacherous. After the loss of HMS Saldana, it was decided to create a lighthouse which opened on St Patrick's Day 1815 here at Fanad. Today it's the beacon for a social enterprise attracting tourists to a remote and largely Irish-speaking community. Tour guide Treyasa Mullaney.
There were 6 in my family. We all spoke only Irish. That's my first language, so we spoke Irish continuously. My father, this is called a Gaeltacht, which means we all speak Irish. It's a beautiful, beautiful language. Changa, Enta Ja, say our fad, and we speak it continuously. It's on the up.
There was, where I live, there was a lighthouse in walking distance. And I do believe it was one of the very last ones left in the Caribbean, because I can't think of any other place that still had a lighthouse then. And this was back in the late 70s, early 80s. They decided to put a hotel, an airport down there, so that they destroyed that lighthouse. I was kind of sad about that. I was also sad that I never got to go up on top of that lighthouse, but it was on the tippy top, on the edge of the island, because I live on the edge. You know, when I was growing up, I lived on the edge of the island there, and there was that lighthouse there, man. They should have preserved that. That would have been a hell of a tourist site. Let's keep going.
I'm on the far northwestern edge of Ireland and Europe, and I'm going one step beyond on the ferry to Ireland's most remote inhabited island, Tory Island. I'm going in search of a different pace of life, and also to discover its appeal in terms of nature and art. The 9-mile journey from the coast of County Donegal takes around 45 minutes. Well, as you can tell, this isn't a car ferry, and I want to see as much as I can of Tory Island. Fortunately, I'm here to meet a man called Owen Clark, who's a photographer, a videographer. He runs the local pub, and he also organises e-bike exploration. This isolated fragment of Ireland measures just 5 kilometres long and 1 kilometre at its widest, with fewer than 200 permanent residents. A mountain bike provides the perfect pace for exploring this extraordinary island. It's also very good fun. The way the elements have sculpted the island
Another
made it
lighthouse.
naturally enticing as a location for artists seeking inspiration amid glorious solitude. In the 1950s, the noted British artist Derek Hill discovered Tory Island. He had a hut built so that he could live and paint here, looking out across the raw edge of Europe.
It's such a dramatic place with such a dramatic scenery and such history behind it. And then you have the people themselves of the island. There's such a welcome community. I'm here 11 years now, and you feel welcome by everybody on the island. It's a really fantastic place to live, and all year round, winter, summer, and actually, funnily enough, particularly winter time, because the storms out here, they're just amazing to watch. So they are mesmerising. Tory's one of those hidden secrets.
Back on the
Whiskey's
mainland, I've
liquid
come to
sunshine.
Crowley House Distillery to learn about the art of making Irish whiskey, a tradition stretching back almost 1,500 years. Crowley House was built from stone in 1901 as a carpet factory, but now it's a shrine to the liquid gold that warms the heart and lifts the soul.
Irish whiskey has to be the best whiskey there is. Basically, it's all to do with the nose. So this here would be a nosing glass as such, so that you'd be able to, so you should be able to get a lot of the taste from just the actual nose, before you actually taste it. Whiskey is a healthy drink as such, like everything in moderation.
A valley. Waterfalls, a
One
castle.
of my favourite locations in Ireland's wild northwest, Glenveigh Castle in County Donegal, a very stately 19th century home in very stately natural surroundings and gifted to the people of Ireland. I took a walk with Claire Bromley, who's head guide, education and learning for Ireland's National Parks and Wildlife Service.
People have always played a part here. There's a lovely rich social and cultural history here with the castle and gardens, but the contrast to that is this spectacular wild landscape. So to me, I think a lot of people come here for that reason. You can get both, you get the history and you can get this beautiful experience in nature. So there's something for everybody, I think, in Glenveigh.
Nature has been generous to Donegal, especially along the coast, with the Atlantic a constant companion. To learn about the communities that have taken root here and to take a journey through the past, I know of nowhere better than Glen Columcille Folk Village. It comprises a cluster of thatched cottages known as a clachan, perched on a hillside above Glen Bay Beach. Each cottage depicts a different aspect of daily life through the centuries, how the people of Northwest Ireland lived, worked, cooked, slept and stayed warm with peat fires. The manager, Margaret Rose Cunningham, told me of the rewards for visitors.
A lot of people connect with their ancestors when they come here. It doesn't matter where they're from. Everybody started off in a hands-on way. So come on over, and there's loads of lovely scenery and of course Irish music, the Irish language. There's so much to be discovered here. The village was built voluntarily by the local people and all of the items were donated, and it basically shows the folk way of life of the people going back to the 1700s in Glen Columcille.
Time to take to the...
I tell you something there, that last name Cunningham, that's really popular on the island back home. Now, I remember, and a lot of people I went to school with that last name Cunningham. Wow. It's crazy.
The water on a trip I've been wanting to do for as long as I can remember.
Out to the Slieve League Cliffs. Paddy.
Simon, how are you getting on?
Nice to see you. Thank you very much.
The voyage begins at the tiny port of Teelin. The boat sails close to the shore along the way to some of the highest sea cliffs in Europe, towering almost 2,000 feet above the ocean. This being the North Atlantic, the water can get lively. It helps to have sea legs, which Paddy Byrne of Slieve League Boat Trips definitely has. He told me women used to clamber down the precarious cliffs to gather seaweed and wreckage.
If anything washed ashore, like a piece of wreckage, a piece of timber or something useful, like back then, anything that fell in the sea was usually, it was timber or, they would climb down and gather it. They would climb down, they would get kelp for their gardens, they would get edible seaweed, they might even have a line with them and catch a few fish. They used to do it because they had nothing.
Once you've enjoyed the cliffs from the water, you can see them from dry land at this very good viewing platform. As they say in these parts, the next parish over is Boston, Massachusetts.
Time to get back on the road and experience driving on some of Europe's most spectacular and emptiest roads through the Banner Peninsula. This is the Glengesh Pass, carved by a glacier for your amazement. Donegal town is where some of the world's most sought-after headgear is created at Hannah Hats.
If you're making a bespoke piece of headgear, you have to get the size right. And can you believe that John Patrick Hannah, operations manager, is going to measure my head? This has never happened to me before.
Well, first time for everything, Simon.
Right, good luck.
Cool.
Each Hannah hat is made by experts in the workshop using natural fabrics and a personal touch to create hats worn by American presidents and Hollywood stars. While work began on my hat, I caught up with General Manager Eleanor Hannah.
Hannah Hats started in 1924 by my grandfather, so we're now third generation family business.
Wow.
And we still make everything here in Donegal town. We train in every staff member that's here in the factory into different processes of making the cap. to make sure that the quality is in each product that leaves our factory. It's fantastic to be able to come here to the factory. You can see the staff on the factory floor making all the products. You can see the beautiful tweeds. If you're lucky enough, you'll be able to pick one and then we can send it to you later on when the cap is ready. But you can see everything being made and the passion that goes into it here.
It says handcrafted in Ireland, and it is. I checked.
That's so cool.
Ever since I was young, I've dreamed of the West Coast surfing experience. I had more in mind the Californian shore, but some say the waves on the west coast of Ireland are even more impressive.
Certainly in the last 10 or 15 years, it's kind of become a fairly well established fact that Ireland has some of the best waves in the world.
Surfing is all about balance and reading the water, and when you're a novice, about going back time and again to try to master standing up on that board. It seems the ocean wins every time, but after this taste of the wild Atlantic waves, I'll be back. To follow the surfing experience, I strongly recommend continuing the ocean theme with a seaweed bath. Here at Kilcullen's bathhouse, they have been sharing the fruits of the Atlantic with an eager public since 1912. At this exciting and uniquely Irish version of a spa, water is pumped in from the ocean and seaweed is harvested at low tide. I've been assured I can indulge in a tranquil amber-tinted sea of unashamed luxury. Here I am, in a bath, completely wrapped in seaweed. I was told that you actually have to massage the fronds into your skin to release all the alginates, all that fabulous iodine. Well, it seems to be working wonders in warming me up. And best of all, unlike your bath at home, you can float, because it's good Atlantic seawater.
Now, here's a question. Comment down below. This probably isn't the type, but do you guys eat seaweed? Also, there's a drink we make on the island called sea moss. Do you guys have that over there? Comment down below and let me know, because the sea moss is the brown kind that you pick at the bottom of the ocean and then you scrub it, you know what I mean? And then you put it out to dry and then you boil it and it becomes like a jello, a little harder than a jello, and then you we didn't have blenders then, so we swizzled it with swizzle sticks, what we call them, or you could blend them like modern day times, and you put milk and you put essence and just a tad of rum. You can put whiskey or whatever you want in there, and you sweeten it up a little bit with sugarcane sugar. You know what I mean? And you drink it like that. It says it's one of the most healthiest drinks that you could drink. Do you guys drink that there, since you're all on the ocean and stuff like we are on the island? Do you drink sea moss? Comment down below. Let me know.
If even the wild Atlantic way isn't remote enough for you, welcome to the Mullet, a T-shaped peninsula pointing down into the Atlantic. On the sheltered eastern side, you have Ely Beach. To the wild west, the roaring Atlantic. At the southern tip of the Mullet, Blacksod Lighthouse played a crucial role in one of the most momentous decisions of the Second World War, when to launch Operation Overlord, the D-Day invasion of occupied France in June 1944. The Allies needed accurate predictions of sea conditions in the Channel and relied on weather reports from the Sweeney family, who were running the lighthouse at the far west of Europe. The invasion was due to take place on the 5th of June, but they reported low pressure, jeopardising its success. D-Day was postponed by 24 hours, as Vincent Sweeney told me.
The barometer was showing plus 21 millibars, rising 21. That was the window of opportunity that the Allies were waiting for. And with the increase in the barometer, the millibars rising, that was the window of opportunity. So they decided, yes, we'd go for it.
While the Mullet feels like an island but isn't, Achill is an island, and indeed the largest isle off the coast of Ireland. A bridge lifts you across the Atlantic, or at least a short stretch of it, and to one of the most special places I know. Driving along the corrugated coast, where the mountains crumble into the ocean, is a joy.
The writer Graham Greene came to Achill Island in search of inspiration, and many movie makers have come here in search of superb backdrops, including the creators of the Banshees of Inishowen.
This highly acclaimed and multi-award-winning film is set on a fictional island off the west coast of Ireland. But the location is real enough, including a lonely house on Keene Bay at the far west of Achill. If you loved the movie, you'll adore the places where key scenes were filmed. On Achill Island, location scouts are spoiled for choice. Achill Island was once connected to the rest of Ireland by rail, and the old track has become the Great Western Greenway, leading to the fine town of Westport.
Westport is one of my happy places, with plenty of options for locally sourced food, lots of friendly local people, and a very lively music scene.
This group of musicians have been entertaining locals and visitors for many years at the Cobbler's Bar. One of the performers, Leisha, told me more.
There has, always been a lot of interest in, nurturing the language and the other traditions, the dancing and that locally here. So we're very lucky in Westport because there is a lot of musicians living in the community. It is a special place. I mean, it's beautiful. First of all, we have Crowpatrick and Clubay. The townsfolk themselves are a very friendly bunch. Wow. Lots of, I suppose, people who would have artistic background or lots of, interest in the arts and music too. So it's like a melting pot of all these sorts of people, and they just sort of gravitate to Westport.
Westport is a great location to start or end a journey along the Wild Atlantic Way. It's a lovely town in its own right, and it has very good connections with an express train link to and from Dublin just over 3 hours away, and it's a 40-minute drive from Knock Airport. But before I leave and complete this adventure on the Wild Atlantic Way, I want to pay my respects at a hill outside the town. And not just any hill.
Crowpatrick is a holy mountain. In the year 441, St. Patrick climbed to the summit. He spent the 40 days of Lent fasting as part of his mission to bring Christianity to Ireland. Today, it's a place of pilgrimage, which some people make in bare feet to show their devotion.
St. Patrick is credited with driving snakes, demons and magicians out of Ireland, hurling them into the water beneath Crowpatrick. The mountain is also known as the Reek, and it's been a sacred site for 3 millennia. In pre-Christian times, people worshipped the Celtic sun god, Lugh. Today, I'm not going to be rewarded with sunshine, but here's a glimpse of a glorious dawn.
Wow.
Since I began my great drive on the Wild Atlantic Way from Malin Head, I've covered 751 miles, each one of them a pleasure. Along the way, I've made dozens of discoveries and met some of the friendliest people anywhere. I'm going to return to complete the rest of this great coastal drive as soon as I can. I can guarantee you that the more time you invest in the Wild Atlantic Way, the greater you will be rewarded.
man, there's so much to see. That's a whole new Ireland that I've been introduced to here the last few videos that I've watched. This is gorgeous, man. No more no hustling and bustling, just small towns with people chilling, smiling. Kind of like island. Well, it is island life, you know what I mean? Just like island where I'm from and thing, man. Good Lord. I better hurry up and start making that trip before I get too old to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Thing. Hope you guys enjoy watching this with me. If you do, drop a like on the video, share the video, tell them Mr. Giant is reacting to it, so that people could come in here and share their places with me, so I could, enjoy them through this year, you understand? Comment down below if you have any experiences of going to these places. If you live in those places, let me know what's up, what's the day-to-day life is like on there, you understand what I'm gonna say? Oh, that was a beautiful vibe right there. Simon Calder, you know what I mean? Go check out his channel. It's very energetic. I hope you guys are having a good day, man. You all take care of each other. Cool runnings.